Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tinker, and Dabble. I guess could be Tinkle if you put them together, or Dinker. And we are putting them together. I found out yesterday DJ published the list of approved adopters that we know about on our Discord, and it turns out that the best people in the universe have decided to adopt Tinker and Dabble together. So that's some great news. So if I'm counting right, let's see. That means all of these kids, all of Tinker and her kids, have been adopted. Because we got an adopter for Monkey, and we've got this little monkey in there, and we got an adopter for Tinker and Dabble together, and we've got an adopter for Trifle and Putter together. Wow, Trifle and Putter together, and look at that. What is Putter doing all the way out there? That's good. Been trying to get them to go out of the room for a while now, and Putter's really exploring over there. That's great. Just before I started the stream, Tinker finally decided to wander out into the kitchen, saw Maggie and hissed at her, and then came back in here. So that was interesting, I guess. Tinker seems so calm, and I guess maybe we can just blame the fact that nobody likes Maggie. I mean, I like Maggie, and our faculty all love Maggie, and Maggie is very friendly with them, and she rubs up on them, and they're all good buddies, so you don't have to feel too bad about Maggie. But she's got a near perfect streak of mom cats not liking her. Nearly perfect. I think unbroken, actually. So, who knows? This is Maggie. She's still sitting up there watching, but she's okay. You don't have to worry about that part. Anyway, so that's our real good news for today is that all of these kids have approved adopters. But let me just remind you guys, as I always do, that just because they have approved adopters doesn't necessarily mean that they are done. We can't count that until they've actually left the building, and sometimes not even then. As always, the most famous story is Baba Ganoush, who got an approved adopter, got adopted, went home with his adopter, and then came back because they had, I guess, turns out, horrible allergies that they didn't know about. Um, so then he got readopted to someone who just loves him with everything they've got. So it really worked out perfect for him. And it could work out that way for any of these guys too. You just never know, which is why I say if you feel like there's one of these cats that you really, really are in love with, you should still put in an application on our website, which is kitten.academy. Wow, that was uncalled for. Just trifle. She's like, I'm done with you, kid. Get off. Um, anyway, the application's on our website, and our website is kitten.academy. And I guess Tink may be having a little bit of a rough morning. Because first she hisses at Maggie, and then she tells Trifle to get off. But she could also just be getting to that point where she starts to tell her kids that's enough. And she should, because she's actually a little overdue for that. Usually, mom cats start weaning their kids just as soon as they're on solid food at about a month, and these guys are twice that age. So she's got every right to tell them it's time to back off a little. What else can I tell you? Monkey and Dabble spent the night in the master bedroom last night, the so-called spa. And that was an interesting experience because all the kids in this class are a little bit different than what we're used to. And as I mentioned, we've been doing a lot of work to get them to be all cool with us. And Monkey and Dabble seem like they are pretty well adjusted. Nonetheless, they are maybe the first kittens that didn't spend a whole lot of time on the bed snuggling. They spent most of their time running around the room. And then I'm not even sure really where they slept, but I don't think it was up with us on the bed. I think they decided to find their own space. So I think as we do future spa nights for these kids, I think we're going to take them individually. And that way they have a little bit more of an incentive to hang out with us instead of with each other. I think it'll be good for them. Also, I need to do a spa night for our mom all alone too for the same reason. But I don't think that's going to happen tonight. The faculty, it's been 2 nights in a row that we've done spa nights, and I think the faculty's kind of feeling it. They're missing us. So I may skip a night, have the faculty in tonight, and then tomorrow maybe I can do little Tinker to hang out with us. So I think that'll probably be the plan. Anyway, that's it. All these kids are having their fun right now. Dabble has really come around. I think I mentioned this in yesterday's close-up. I expected Dabble to be the tough case. She started out as the one that I thought was just from the first day. I'm like, she's the one that is just never going to be a lap cat, and she's going to be a real hard case to get her to come around and be friendly with us. And of course, in usual cat fashion, she's proven me wrong. She is the #1 student right now, the first one in the lap. She spent the mailbag in my lap. You can see she has hardly left my lap now that I've been sitting here. She's going to climb into my shirt now. All right, Dabble. So that's pretty cool. It's nice to see that sort of turnaround for a kitten like Dabble. And the others have all seen it too, to maybe a lesser extent. Dabble's just the most obvious, but all of them now are being way more affectionate than they were. You might remember on their first day with us that, they just didn't want to have anything to do with me, and they wouldn't even let me pet them. And now they're all at the point where they're easily pet, and most of them will actually hang out on my lap for a long time if I give them the opportunity. So that's great progress. The one that still won't hang out on a lap is little Tinker, although even though she won't hang out, yesterday, as I was doing my usual treat and lap time, she did come voluntarily and get up on my lap 2 or 3 times. So that's big progress too, that she would just get on my lap in the first place. It means we're really, really headed in the right direction. She didn't want to stay, of course, but she did get up there all by herself. So that's really cool. And I feel like definitely a good sign that we're heading in the right direction. And we've got some time. If you were wondering, we know for sure that they're going in for their second vaccine, which will be their 12-week birthday, and therefore when they can get their rabies vaccine. That happens on March 9th. And at that visit on March 9th, I will talk to the vet about scheduling their spays and neuters as soon as possible after that date. Although they will still technically have one vaccine, their third distemper booster, that they need about 3 weeks after that. If we can schedule the spays and neuters sooner, and if the adopters promise to go and get that third distemper booster from their vet, then they could get adopted anytime after that happens. Anytime after the spay and neuter, I should say, which is going to happen sometime after the 9th, probably the following week. So there you have it. Okay, that is all the news of the Tinkers. So we should head upstairs and see some of the other kitties. Now, I want these guys to have more exploration time this morning. Putter, we hardly saw you because you were off doing some exploration. That was a big kitty thing to do. I want them to have more exposure to sound, too. I could tell last night as they were in the master bedroom, they were all just a little bit worried about all the loud noises coming from the TV. And that's something that we just try to work on with all of our classes. That's always an issue, but for these guys, it seems like it's even more of an issue than for most. Probably because they haven't been exposed to a whole lot of that yet. So one of the things that I'm going to do to combat that is to have their doors open a little bit more this morning while I'm vacuuming. And also, we're going to find more ways to get them exposed to loud TV noises, because that's just how you do. So I'm going to leave this fence up for right now. Here's Brookie, by the way. Hi, Brooke. Now, let's see. Brooke has also been a little bit angry the last couple of days, and the reason is that, as I mentioned, we've had spa nights the last 2 nights, and to avoid conflict, I have put Brooke in her room all night the last 2 nights after she's had so much time out and just hang out and do whatever she wanted at night. The last 2 nights she's been back in her room all by herself. I don't think she liked it very much. I mean, she gets along. She's a kitty, and sometimes you do what you got to do. It's all fair. But then she comes out in the morning, like this morning, she seemed just a little bit extra, like she's all hyper. She's got all this hyper energy now because she was in her room all night. And that translates, of course, into being a little rowdy around Maggie, who then hisses and gets all upset. And it sort of just sets off a chain reaction of angry kitties. So there's not a good way to solve that, though. You just got to do what you got to do. And nobody gets hurt. That's the good thing. Brookie's not out to hurt anybody. She's just hyper, really. And I think on a certain level, she really just wants to play. But she's not good at doing it in any way that the faculty could understand, especially not Maggie. So we're working on it though. Now, I've talked a little bit about Brooke's potential for diabetes, and again, I really don't think she has diabetes. Now, I think I all but proved that over the weekend that she does not have diabetes, but we're going to get the final proof tomorrow. She's going to go to the vet and get one final test that will, I think, put the nail in that diabetes theory, and we will know for sure then that it's not. So that will be tomorrow, and hopefully by the day after tomorrow, I'll be able to give you the results of that test and tell you for sure that she doesn't have diabetes. And I'm hanging out. I've got all these really great photos and stuff of her that I want to share with everybody on our blog, on our website. But I'm waiting to share all of that until after we get the results of that test, so I can just put it all up at once. I think that'll work out really well. Hi, Custard. You're pushing your luck by coming in here right now. Okay, be good. Be good, both of you guys. A little bit of a standoff. Custard loves hanging out in this room now that he's able to. And Brooke doesn't necessarily love him hanging out in her room, but they can do really well together as long as Custard is being polite. And Custard's got this real funny thing that he likes to do. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you guys right now. But the reason this blanket is so messed up right now is because Custard likes to dig his way under the blanket and then just hang out in this room under the blanket. It's really silly. I don't know if he'll do it if I help him. I don't think he even knows that I know he does this, but I've caught him doing it the last few days in a row. You want to get under there, buddy? I know you do. You're going to do it when I'm not looking, though. All right, fair enough. No, there you go. He's going to do it right now. I don't know why this is his thing all of a sudden, but it is his thing. He's been doing it the last couple days. Now, Brooke, I think Brooke is playing with him right now, too. Look at that. I haven't seen Brooke playing with him like this before, but that might be part of it. He's like, no, I need to get them the Ripple rug. You know, we've got a couple brand new Ripple rugs in the closet that I've been waiting to put out. I bet these two together could actually play on that thing. We'll try that later today and see what happens. Yes, you are cute, Brookie. Yes, you are. And you know what? That was a really good interaction you just had. Even though Custard ran away, nobody was too upset. That was a very good way to be. We like that. Okay, there's Belle at the door talking to us. She just meowed. Oh, I left her food downstairs. Can we go get it real quick? Let's go get it. Hang on. Let's just run back down and get it. Hi, Custard Doodle. Is that where you went? There's Loganberry over in the sunroom. I don't know if you saw him, but I did. And Maggie. Maggie's watching for her birds as usual. There's Maggie. And there's Loganberry. And there's Smokey. Coming in for second breakfast, or is this third breakfast? I think it's probably third breakfast. This is great, by the way. She's been eating a ton. Here's Ari. You have taken the one space for a cat on this blanket. On this rug. There's only room for one cat here, so one at a time. Ari's got the space today. All right, let's go back up and see Belle. We'll get some weights together. You guys can help me out with that once again. There's Brooke down there. Can you see her in the sunny spot? She found a little sunny spot. She's probably going to settle down there for a bit. Custard's still just sitting. He's waiting for his chance to go back in there and get under that blanket. Hi, Belle. I saw you at the door talking to me. You want to lead me over to your kittens? All right, let's do it. I know, this is the first time I've seen you this morning. I've been busy getting things ready. Just a tiny, tiny touch chilly in here, so I'm going to turn your heat up a little. And we're going to turn on your floor heater, because you've got a floor heater like a fancy cat. Hi, Belle. Hi, good morning. Do you want some breakfast? Bet you do. So these are Belle's kids, as you know. And let's see, if we're talking about adopters, Belle has an approved adopter who is a very lucky person. She's super affectionate, and she, of the three mom cats we have in right now, she's the biggest lap cat, the one that's most likely to come up on your lap and hang out and watch a whole movie. Um, with I think Brooke right now is in second place because Brooke will let me pick her up and hold her like a baby and do whatever I want as long as I'm either giving her pettings or treats. But when the pets or the treats dry up, then she's out. Whereas Belle will, if you stop giving her pettings or treats, she's still likely to lay there for quite a while and just hang out. So, uh, so that's sweet. I like that a lot in a mom cat. And I'll tell you what's funny about Belle. And I was making fun of her on the stream last night for this. I don't know if you guys saw it. Belle doesn't seem to really play like most mom cats that we've had. And you know, she's probably 5 years old, which is still that's the age where kittens and cats can really calm down quite a bit if they're gonna. So it may just be the fact that she's 5 or 6 years old, 5 years old, I should say, not 5 or 6. She's closer to four than six, so 4 or 5 is what I should say. Um, yeah, but she's also had a lot of litters of kittens, and so she just may not be, the playful type anymore. She may be like, all right, I have kittens, that's what I do. Fortunately, that part of her life has come to a close. So, what I was going to say, though, that's so funny that I was making fun of her for is that she loves her catnip toys. She's got this catnip fish right here, and she's got a catnip dragon wing, although it's not, it's more like a kidney bean shape, but it's made by Dragon Makers, same as the wings. And she's got this catnip ball, and she loves all of them. But the way that she plays with them is she just goes over and she sits next to them. And sometimes she'll sort of touch them or bite them once, but then 99% of how she plays with the catnip is just to sit there with it, which is it's so funny. That's her idea of a real good time. So when she's doing that, when she's just sitting there next to her catnip toy, I'm like, oh man, she is being wild. She is really, really being a wild cat right now, sitting next to that toy. She cracks me up. So yeah, and for her, that's wild for her. She's just a real sweetheart. Anyway, let's weigh some babies. Yeah, I've got to check the list that DJ made, but as far as I know, Foghorn and Belle are adopted, but these two, Beep and Klaxon, are not yet adopted. Which reminds me, let me get set up for these weights while I'm talking to you guys. We have a vet visit for this whole crew this morning. We're taking them in this morning. We'll probably leave here just after 11, and we'll probably be back around 1 in the afternoon. So they won't be on the stream for a little while today. But the vet visit today is for a few reasons, as I have mentioned. One reason, maybe the big reason, is that our vet loves cats, which is something that you can't really say about all vets, even cat vets necessarily. And I know that all of the people at the vet are going to really appreciate getting to see these little tiny kittens because they're so cute. But most of the reason is we need a second and third opinion on whether they are boys and girls. At this point, I'm coming down pretty strongly on the side of all three being girls, but we'll make an official announcement after the vet visit. Another reason to bring them all into the vet today is that Belle has ongoing little bit of chin acne. She's had it since the day she came into us, and I thought it would clear up, and it hasn't. So mostly just an excuse, not something we would take a special vet trip for ordinarily. But if we're gonna, we're gonna. And then finally, there was one single flea located here the other day on Belle, or near Belle, I should say. And we treated her with a Revolution. Oh, so loud. We treated her with Revolution, but we're also going to have the vet check up on that. You've got a lot to say, old One Eye. So this is Foghorn, and he wants to live up to his name. Foghorn is a giant horn. And Foghorn today weighs 10.4 We're going to go with 10.4. And one thing I want you guys to notice about little Foghorn, DJ thinks, hi, yes. Okay, we get it, buddy. Your mom's not paying any attention because she trusts me to hang out with you. One thing, I can hear the echo of that coming from our bedroom TV where the stream is playing. I wanted to point out how triangular his tail is. Look at this little foghorn tail. It's like a big old slice of pie. It's such a big, fat triangle tail, which DJ says is a sign also the fact that he's going to be a long hair. I keep calling him he, even though I think they're all girls. I don't know. I'll be all over on those pronouns for a while. But look at that tail. Is that tail ridiculous? Look at the amount of floof in that tail. It's such a perfect big triangle. It's so silly. He's holding it down as much as he can because he doesn't want me to pick him up. Anyway, so that's Foghorn. And then these two are nursing, but we're going to have to ask you guys to stop for a minute. I'm sorry. Okay, all right, there you go. You came off already, so we'll take you next. Beep. This is Beep. You can tell Beep because the line on his face is a little bit off to one side there. He's a little asymmetrical, and he's got a black nose. And you can also tell Beep from Klaxon from the back because he doesn't have any white spots on his back, on the back of his neck specifically. There's no white. That comes up the side a little, so don't get confused by that, but nothing actually on the back. Where we'll see in a minute that Klaxon does have white there in the back of his neck. So that's little Beeper, and you can see Beep's eyes are also starting to open. I know, buddy, I know. You can see in the inside corner closest to his nose, just a tiny, tiny bit. So that's how they usually start. And today, Beep weighs, we don't know, because the scale shut itself off because I'm taking so much time. Hold it right there, buddy. Hold it right there, pal. I know. It's the worst, all this stuff I put you guys through. Okay. 8.9. Good. 8.9. And I know that sometimes watching these guys meow can be a little disturbing to folks that aren't used to it. But first off, that's what little kittens do when you pick them up. And I think it's important for us to do it anyway because they really need to get used to being handled more. This is something that probably could have benefited Tinker's kids when they were this age. So I know listening to them yell can be a little bit much sometimes, especially if it's really loud. But it's worth it, trust me. It's good for them and it's good for us. I hear you, Beeper. And he's so cute too. All right, look at this little fat one. He's rolled over on his back with his tongue out, and he can't get up. Oh, that's Klaxon. Now he's getting buried under his brothers or sisters. Come on, Klaxon. You're the one we got to weigh next. Come here. Hi, buddy. Hi. You got a big round belly, just like we like in a little kitten. Your eyes are doing really good. Yeah. You're getting further along, aren't you? Look at those eyes. Yes. One of them is almost all the way open, and the other one's about halfway there. So this is Klaxon, and as I mentioned, you can tell him apart real easy from Beep because he's got a white nose that's real symmetrical, and he's also got a little bit of white on his back, right between his shoulder blades. So that's how you tell those two apart at a glance, whether you're looking at the front or the back. I hear you, buddy. It's funny, he's got a little bit of a more hoarse meow, too. I wonder how long that'll last. They're still developing their meow, so I wouldn't count on that being the same. So that's Klaxon. Klaxon weighs 9.2 today. You are a big kid, buddy. Still talking, even though you're in the basket, huh? I know. I hear you, Klaxon. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. What? What do you want? So calm. Okay, he's like, I'm comfortable here for a minute. Okay, time to go again. All right, Klaxon, here you go, buddy. All right, look, we made it 25 minutes somehow. I thought I was doing really good on time, but I went way over. So let's wrap this up real quick. Let me say thanks to everybody for everything, because you guys are great in every single way. Um, I really do mean that too, even though I said it in sort of a glib way. I appreciate all of you, and it's wonderful to have you here, even though I hardly got to chat directly with you this morning. Second, the reminder, the news, these guys are going to the vet today, so they won't be on the stream for a few hours this morning. And finally, check out our website, kitten.academy. You can either apply to adopt the kittens there or look at good pictures of them, and there'll be more blog posts coming soon. And that's it. Thank you all so much for joining me here this morning, and I will see you again tomorrow. Meanwhile, if you want to watch the kittens, look for the regular Kitten Academy live stream right here on YouTube. Thanks, everybody.